Welcome back everyone. Today more overfender goodness, and we go into quite a few more details than we normally would. If you're anything like me, I like to see obviously a lot of the processes, and I like to see all the kind of tiny little minutiae, little details that a lot of people miss out. I always wonder, how are they doing these things? Like, you know, what are the little kind of details that add up to the bigger picture? So today I'm going to be showing you those tiny little details, and hopefully it kind of makes sense. Picking up where we left off last time, I made an error and cut that arch line. Behind the scenes, I did kind of reinforce, repair slash make that arch bigger. Now I do have these, you know, eBay overfenders, which are incredibly useful. It was £20 I think for a set of 4. They're ABS plastic, they're really good molds, really well made, shapes are good. So what I did is I bonded one to the back of this. Now if we flip that over, obviously we have got a new reinforced arch, which I'm not mad about because that's nice and solid. I wasn't overly happy about this being kind of even, so I wanted it tapered, so I gave that a bit more shape. Today we're going to be working on obviously getting this ready for the next layer, the kind of like the final layer. Not too much to do really, but let's start off with the side. So today hopefully going to be possibly doing the last layer on this, I don't know, but fingers crossed we will do. Let's start laying some foundations. I've let that dry for about a day. I've just had some spare aluminium laying around. Made these kind of wings slash supports. I'll show you why in a second. It's going to act as, you know, a base for the overfender. Now these aren't going to be, you know, that width. I just oversized them just for like a base support. This is going to be the very bottom of the overfender, and it's going to connect to here, and then that's going to connect to the side skirt. I hope that makes sense. Let me put the overfender on and just show you. So overfender, that's on in its position. Got to fix it up here at the back as well to keep these lines tight. I want this line to be as tight as possible here. I don't want anything lifting up along here, and it wraps around the back here. I want to keep that tight to the body line. If we come down here, you can see how much that's pulled out by. Now it's going to be more than that. This is fixed here, this is going to be fixed down here, and then pulled out to there. And the same on the back. One glaring issue we're going to have is it's going to taper up, and there's going to be a gap here. So I need to work out how to do that, how to sort that gap out. It shouldn't be too difficult, but we need to, you know, create some kind of support to go between here and here. First things first, let's fix this onto here. I've got one fixing that goes down there. Let's tape this on first. And get everything, we've got to get everything kind of tight and locked in. I was thinking of screwing that on, but it's gonna need, well, most likely it's gonna need a little bit of movement. I have pulled this out and put a hole in this one. Rather than putting in self-tappers and these giant fixings, I've got these tiny little screws, which I've lost most of at the moment. Every time I take one out, I lose it. So fortunately I've got a lot of them, but I am running out. So we're going to pull this out to here and fix that in. Now, as you can see, that's automatically pulled that out a whole bunch. From the front, it doesn't, it's very hard to get an idea of it, but that is a lot wider than standard. It looks, from certain angles you think, this kind of looks normal, but you get to there and it is blown out quite a bit, especially when you get to here. It's pretty wide. My preferred look is kind of OEM lines, but blown out, accentuated. That's what we're looking like at the moment. Now, yeah, I will put a fixing up here. I need to trim off this excess up here. I need to put a fixing here to stop this moving. So I'll put a fixing here. This will have to be pulled out. I think I'm not going to tuck this in down to here. I'm going to leave this kind of hanging like that, doing something quite natural, and then you're going to have a big old exposed section, I hope anyway. So let's put a little fixing top corner. Now it's a case of working out kind of pressure points, things like that, where it's going to pull out. So I need a fixing here and then a fixing here. So pretty minimal. So the good thing about these tiny little screws is when you fiberglass over it, they're so small, the heads are tiny, easy to dig out afterwards and put a bit of filler over basically. Alright, everything's locked in place. It's pretty minimal in terms of fixings. Like I said, these are super tiny, so I'll fiberglass over them and just cut them out afterwards. I think I've got a punch, different sizes, so I'll literally just go around that, dig that out. That's not going to be an issue. So everything is tight to the body lines, to there, that's all solid. Like I said, we need to work out something to bridge this gap here, because obviously you're going to fiberglass that and it's just going to kind of fall in there, so not ideal. Now that is as far as the wheel can go up. Now right now, you may have noticed before, yeah, it's being sucked into the wheel well to the front. Now, yeah, I need to resolve that issue. So picture this wheel central. It'll be fine, and obviously it needs to be wider as well. It's close, but probably need it to be a little bit wider. It's kind of crazy the kind of angles that goes on with this at the moment, but yeah, it's looking pretty cool. Now the back probably can come out a little bit more, say to about there, something like that. Let's put something in there. Let's wedge something in there, and then we've got to work out, like I said, something to support this. Now this has been a little bit tricky, so I had a bit of a think, and I've got some aluminium angle in there. It's not stuck down yet, but that's the position I want it in, there as well. So I need to take this off and key up all this surface, get it ready for the final layer. stick these down so I'm not left with, you know, any kind of fixings when I take those off, because I need this surface in here to be part of the wing. So once the final layer's gone down to here, I can take this off and then put a strip of fiberglass between here and the inside of the panel to strengthen it up and, you know, to make it look nice and neat. But first I need to take this off, just hot glue gun these on, that one there, key this up, cut some excess off. Once that's done, I can put that back on, and I think what I'm going to do is, because I need this filled here, I think I'm going to use some expanding foam. You may have missed out before, this is a layer of 450 and a layer of tissue over it, so tissue's 30, I believe. So yeah, it'll be another layer. So not too thick, not too thin. It'll be enough to, obviously, be twice as thick as that. So I don't want to go too heavy. I've gone fairly heavy before. I don't want to do that. But if I need to, I can add another layer on top. But I don't want to really go too crazy and lose too much definition, because we like the body lines. So let's glue these bits on and trim some bits off. I went for 2 layers of the 350 rather than the 450, just conforms a bit better, and then we've got the tissue on there as well, so it gives a nice, fairly smooth surface. Obviously got a lot of sanding to do, but everything's tight, everything's kind of as it should be. Got to resist the temptation to not take that off for a couple of days. We'll skip to a couple of days time, and then we can not take it off, but we can start trimming it up, and then checking out, you know, the kind of various supports on the sides and underneath, and actually see how wide it is. Yeah, back in a sec. Next day, and all dry. That finish, well, the finish that the tissue gives is really good. It basically saves you a lot of work. It's hard to really show you, but it does a good job of filling in some a lot of imperfections. But for example, there you go. That's cut your work down a lot. Obviously it's going to need, buzzing down, and then a skin. Skin of light filler, dolphin glaze, which is really, really light. It kind of flows as well. The trickiest thing is going to be getting all these lines nice and tight, but that's not going to be too difficult. What I need to do now is obviously trim off excess, and then get into the inside, and then glass an L shape from the back of this and to the inside bottom of this. So let's trim all this up first, get in there, and we'll do the final bit before this can pop off. Back on, and kind of tidied up a bit as well. This workshop gets pretty messy pretty quick, especially when you're doing stuff like that. Everything fixed back on. Those screws, I managed to find some laying around. Screws are back on, so it's held back in place where it should be. I'm gonna let that dry. I did try and sand down this a little bit. Too early for it. I went pretty light with it with a catalyst, so it's going to take a few days to really kind of reach kind of peak hardness. I think kind of 3 days is the what it says on the data sheet for this to kind of reach maximum strength. So still a little bit soft. So it's balling up a little bit when I sand it, but I just wanted to do a little test patch. You can see. You can see that there. That's actually pretty good. It's got a few undulations in there, but that's nothing crazy. It's going to be a very light light skimmer filler. As you can see in there, that's drying at the moment. Same for that one. This is obviously all good. Trim that line down there, which is looking pretty crisp. Obviously still need to do some trimming around all these bits and pieces, all these edges here, and that's obviously slightly oversized, and make that nice and shaped afterwards once these aluminium supports are off and then transferred to the other side. Now obviously don't want to lose any definition or anything, so I want to try and keep all these lines as sharp as I possibly can. Obviously got to make sure that, you know, these lines are nice and sharp, so I'm currently working out something for that. So let's skip forward another another kind of couple of days. So this is kind of fully cured, and then we can break it down properly, get rid of these little wings, start, you know, trimming all this up so it's nice and flush. Trim this, trim that, trim all that, trim the top, and then after that's all trimmed, we can work on the bottom piece here. Now I'm going to do that in another episode because I think that's going to be quite a lot of work. I'm going to make that in 2 pieces. Making this in 1 piece is going to be, well, it would be very, very difficult. I don't think I'm good enough to do that, so I'm going to do it in 2 pieces. But I've got a good idea of how to do it, so yeah, I will work it out pretty shortly. So again, skip forward 3 days, 2-3 days. So I thought I'd have to wait, you know, a couple of days to take this off. It's been like 4 or 5, so I'm actually dying to see this, like, just to pop it. It's like peeling a scab off. Right, so let's get this off. There you go. That's that off. So I've made life easy for you guys. There was a lot of cutting. This episode's gonna be super long, so I saved you a lot of boredom. Yeah, check this out. Now this is far from finished, but it's looking like it should. Lines are nice and crisp down to here, and obviously I need to work out what I need to do there, but that's not fixed down there, that's just on its own weight. So I've got 2 screws up there, obviously this is going to be bonded on. Let's put a wheel on and see how much that goes up in there, quite a bit. So yeah, let's put a wheel on and see what it looks like. That was close. Okay, that's looking it's a wall. So that's looking pretty wild. The back, yeah, that sticks out pretty far. Yeah, plenty to do still. Yeah, we're looking pretty crazy. Now, next stage is going to be, yeah, this bottom section here. I need to work out, obviously, this moving over, because it looks weird at the moment. It's going to take a lot, obviously, to refine this and make it look sharp, but, you know, that's what I do. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Out of breath. Alright, I think that's going to do it for now. Absolutely shattered. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.
Subscribe, you fools.